Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Some of you, again, I don't even know. We've been, what is this, like, I don't even know, 4 shows or so with me and you? I don't even know at this point.
No, there's more than I was thinking. Yeah, actually, this morning because you said last week. You said I was only about like 3 shows, but we've done more. We've done two in 1 week.
Yeah,
Because you asked
okay.
me on that last minute whilst I was having a
Oh,
shower,
yeah.
shower gate as we called it.
Yes, that.
But yeah, I remember that one well.
Yeah. So, hello, everyone. Some of you have made it back. Thanks again. Appreciate you making it. Oh, wait, I gotta move. I gotta see. Oh, wait, Lee, you didn't even see this.
What's that?
Oh, watch this. Wait, it'll take me a second. And you'll see it
Oh,
pop up on your screen at some point.
oh,
Joseph Cullen, thank you for making it. Hey, can't wait to see my knight get a paint over. Yeah, I think I'm going to work on that one first. So, yeah, we can even quote you, Lee. We got you right here.
well, King Crimson just straight in there off the bat with the Lee. So Crimson.
Yeah. Thanks for
I'm the
making it.
fell.
Crimson. So, that was one of the things I don't even know when I did this one. I did this on live stream. This is Spence Pates models. And this is one of the reasons I've been digging the live streams is it was Crimson's ideas. Like, how about putting the shot in? Because I didn't have the laser blast the whole time. And he just in the chat kind of brought it up, so I put the laser blast in because of him and it made a better picture. So I was like, oh, that's cool. So thanks to that. And let me see. So, oops. I'm going to try to do this one today. This one I did yesterday. So I was like a warm up and I was going to do it. And then I'm like, I started working on it and I just like ended up doing it. I'm like, well, I'll be able to do another one on the show. So I just really dug this one. It was a cool dragon pose. It was a good photograph, like angle for it and everything. And I will go through later and get the person's name. It's a little longer. They've been liking my stuff for a while now, but it's one of those hard ones for me to remember as a tag.
Wait, how often do you get to do a dragon?
You don't. I haven't, which is surprising. I've done a few, but you don't. You know what I mean? Just because there's not that many. This I was intrigued because so a malifaux. I think this was malifaux, this is Crispy Bacon on Twitter. I know it's his models, or hers. Don't know who Crispy Bacon is. Uh, malifaux. I remember from years ago. They were getting into. It seemed like their molds or whatever, real fine and thin. You know what I mean? So it was a totally different aesthetic from like GW in a way, and so it was cool that they got submitted and this was like a good photo. And at first I was like, oh gosh, it's a lot of units to do, but I was like, okay, it's a white background and I could separate it pretty quick. So I was like, all right, we're going to try it. And it looked cool to me. I don't know anything about the game.
I've looked at models of malifaux. One of my friends, Scott, he yes, Chris Gilboy's
Those are
malifaux.
his. Yeah.
Yep. My friend, a couple of my friends have Chris and Nigel have basically done malifaux and a few others.
Okay.
And I like because it's like a squad-based combat game, so you build up your squads with your characters and little bits and pieces, and they're all sort of like that sort of gothic horror sort of aesthetic, which is always fun to be involved with. But yeah, it is an interesting looking game. It's different from what a lot of game systems are, which is like straightforward, go around, kill everything.
Yeah.
But it's got some good interactions in there, and they say the models are very well. You can see they're very characterful, and Chris has done a great job with the paint schemes on them as well to keep that aesthetic together.
Yeah, so that'll be a fun one. I was able to do a little background, and then I will going to try to do this one. I figure it's a nice solo one, and it was on a clean area, and I'm always a sucker for teal and orange. Apparently, get to know yourself better and better the more paint overs you do. So that's a good. So this will be a fun one. And there was a couple in this smoky like after battle type scenes, and it kind of reminded me of those. And I almost wanted to do another one. So I want to try to get this one in as a third. So that's going to be my plan for the live stream. And so now
three lovely little examples of awesome.
I know, and I get so many now submitted, and I always feel bad when you can't do them all. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, I try to get, if someone's been submitting and I remember them submitting, I try to get one of theirs. You know what I mean? If you've been tagging along for weeks and you're in here in chat, like I want to paint over your minis, so I do try to get them. This one, so I already cut it out because I figured people don't want to watch me racing all the time, and I like to get something settled. And then I put over my tinted layer. This one I put over really dark, but I think I want it dark because I'm gonna light. What is this, Lee? That's like, is it plasma cannon on there or heavy flamer?
No, that's the thermal. Not a thermal lance. That is a. And thermal lances are for the armigers. That's the thermal cannon from
thermal. Okay,
so Knights.
What kind of blast is that? Is that like, it's not like laser?
It's a horrible one.
it's like a what?
It's going to ruin your day level. If you get shot,
so we can go hard
by one of them. It's basically it's pure anti-tank destructive capability. If it's just one of those weapons that you really do not want to be near or be on the receiving end of. We said he's got the in his other hand is his fist, the Thunderstrike fist, or obviously where he's done it, it looks a little bit.
That's cool.
Brutal, to be honest, with the chains hanging off of it, which is really cool.
What's the difference between like a Thunderstrike fist and like, don't they have like a big claw one or a power fist on these things? What's the Thunderstrike fist?
Well, the Thunderstrike fist is basically like a ramped up power fist in theory, but he does have a unique ability. Well, it did. I'm not sure about it, if it has still in ninth. I assume it would do. But if you successfully kill something with a Thunderstrike fist, you then can, if you wish, throw it. So if you beat that tank that he's standing on, if you destroy the tank with your Thunderstrike fist, you then can actually throw the tank at a unit.
That's
so it's just like a little characterful thing, whereas normal power fist, you just again punch things in the face and it dies. But that you punch things in the face, it dies, and then you use its body to kill something else.
Then you use it as a weapon. That's that 40k overkill that I appreciate.
That's grim dark for you.
Yeah, and Joseph said it was melty, flamey death. So there, I got my background.
Much similar to Plasma Killy Death, actually.
Yeah.
And then he's got the rocket pods on the top, which are from the old Space Marine Whirlwind kit, because I recognise those little things. That's one of the original Whirlwind.
The old school one.
Yeah, so it just adds to the whole aesthetic. But I'm liking the head because that's not standard.
What was the movie they brought up? It's an old
Hardware.
movie. You remember seeing
Hardware.
that? Okay, yeah.
And I lived that.
Yeah, me too. And so that was very much and I can't think of it right now. It's a bummer though.
It was one of those straight to DVD films.
I just remember. I think I like running.
Very few cinemas would have had it.
I can't remember.
But it was like one of the films that was made at a time around like Robot Jocks.
Yeah.
And Crash and Burn sort of thing. It was like that sort of.
Is it Hardwired?
Yeah, Hardwired. Yeah, no, Hardware.
Hardware. Yeah.
Because the thing was on the poster it was that skull head which had a US flag on it.
There was some good design. There was some strike. It was at a time where that was like the visuals like really held.
Gosh. I apologize to the stream. I was late with my dinner preparation, so it's pizza
Oh, we can turn you. Yeah, no, that's fine with me. But we can always turn you down if you're worried about eating on camera. But I don't care.
Special for the ASMR fans out there, hearing me chew.
I will. What we got here? I'll try to do something right here.
Joseph is just saying in the stream about the fact that he killed a classic Vindicator and a classic Whirlwind to make that model.
Oh,
sacrifices
yeah,
have to be made at times.
I know the money people spend just to like turn it into bits is funny in this.
But that's the thing. It's like sometimes if you can't get those bits from like eBay or bit sites, then sometimes you have to go the whole hog and buy a whole kit in order to build something as scenic and sort of awesome as that is. So it was worth the investment, I feel.
Yeah, that's for sure. I do too. It adds that personality to
it. Crimson charging extra on the OnlyFans for the Lee eating ASMR. That's the new channel coming out.
That's what I told them. So someone, I've been researching, just whatever, like starting a YouTube and all that kind of stuff, right? And some of the marketers still talked about TikTok, and I'm like, okay, well, I don't do any of that stuff, but I'm like, the time lapses that I post, like the quicker ones, I'm like, okay, that's TikTok size, and they were saying like TikTok still gets like a lot of viewers and everything. And I was like, all right, well, what's it hurt? You know what I mean? So I tried it and I was like, okay, I'll put a couple up there. And I was surprised. Like, I think the first one I put up got like 100 and some views, you know what I mean? Some likes, and it did seem like you get quite a bit of reach there. So I was like, all right, and I'm like, it's going to be a totally different crowd than this, you know what I mean? Because through Twitter you kind of get like TikTok, you can just get anyone who likes anything, So I was like, all right, if I can do it quick enough and post some there, just see what happens.
Well, that's the thing. It's just like thumbnail videos, really. You just have a whole stream of videos, one after the other. You can just watch for like a few seconds and then you go, oh,
I like never that. Watched it, but I got to admit, some of them were making me laugh, and I was like, oh, man. So I ended up like watching for like half hour or something, just random stuff online. I was like, oh, boy.
Yeah, I did that the other week, and I found one video of this dog sitting upright, this little fluffy white dog, and he was just singing, "I'm sexy and I know it." And I just found that hilarious.
So I was laughing because when I did it, I ended up going through it all. And, what the time is I was working, and it was like late. And then I just, ended up doing TikToks for an hour. I was like, oh, boy. I'm like, now I get it. I'm like, I get how people can watch those.
Yeah. Yeah, you fall into it's like with anything. If it can grab your attention, it's going to suck you in. And the next minute, it's like, oh, I've got to wake up now.
Yeah. I'm like, uh-oh.
Keep on moving myself out of my camera angles. That's trying to get comfortable.
Yeah.
Out of view. That's only half of me.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. 5 viewers. Thanks for watching us right now. Appreciate you guys coming in. And I know I always feel bad. I'm going to try like maybe on the weekend or something. I want to get a more evening stream to start going. Kind of a lot of people on my side of the states, it's the middle of the week. They're working during the day and everything, So it'll work out. I'm like, yeah, I'll try to get some more time in on the weekend. Let me do this bad boy. This thing is so cool. I like the position, and I love that he has like foot on that. Is like just that whole feeling.
I have a dog. Excuse me.
No worries. I know what it's like. Now I'll have to get TikTok vids of the dogs like everybody else does. And I did. Oh, there was TikTok vids. And what else I see on TikTok was, like sandwiches. Someone was making. I was like, oh wait, I might want to make one of those. So I ended up seeing like just random sandwiches or like egg tricks or whatever. Did you?
Love the deep in this. all the hanging pipes and cables.
Oh yeah, I love that additions of stuff.
So flamey, so deathy, so melty, as Joseph has just put in the chat. We're all for melty, deathy, flamey, plasma killy, all those sort of things. They're wonderful little adjectives to throw down at people. And that's the thing with Imperial Knights. They were, I think it was my gateway drug into Titans.
It
wasn't really. I was always into Titans, but when they came out again back, I think it was 2012, I think, when they brought out the 40k kits, that was it. I just went completely bonkers.
You went for it.
So I've got in my collection of knights, I've got one of each class that they've released, apart from one. One of the big ones, which is the Mechanicus Porphyrion variant, the Atreus, I think, and then the one of the new small ones. The Armigers like you done last week for Psychologist of the Astartes, wasn't it? Was his?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was. Yeah, this one. Where is my Armiger? This one.
That's the one.
Yes. Wait. Here, we gotta put names on these right now. That is part of the show. Everyone can hound me. We're gonna do this right now. I shouldn't.
But we can just describe them to you, and you know exactly where to go.
Yeah. Who? What is the name for Twitter on this one? Let me look it up.
Well, his real name's Joseph, but
I was just gonna put Twitter handle in case someone want to look. So I'm scrolling through. 1 second.
Hello, you many.
There it is, Joseph J. Cullen.
Is it weird that I'm not a fan of that look with the new Necrons? I like the poses that are not broken down look. I don't know. I think with Necrons, because I've been doing Necrons recently. I like both of them because obviously they're millions of years old, and they've been left to their own devices where they've been sleeping for all that time. But he is he's characterful. I know you've got some that look really sort of bruised and battered, but I like a little like a jaw hanging off or a chip in the armor and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. But yeah, but then I always like things a little bit on the dirtier, beaten up side of things.
See,
I don't
so
like
do I. Yeah. That's the same as
especially
mine.
like with Space Marines, where you get them painted and they're all sort of like parade ground fresh, and I'm like, no, we need to have bullet holes and scratch marks.
That's the thing. I do love them all though. Like, I like some of those. Some do them like almost cartoony colors, and I just love that. Like the old school, and they're so like poppy, and then some, like even this one, like I can't remember the name. He goes by Cyphus. I did one of his paintovers long ago, and wow, he does a lot of heavy conversion, rusted, decayed. Like, oh gosh, I love that. I love all.
There's some great converters out there.
Yeah,
because you done the Pegastics. Mechanicum Scutari, I think it was, wasn't it? But she, on her Instagram and Twitter, the stuff that she puts out there is just like fantastic. The conversions, like I know obviously she works for Games Workshop, so she can probably get hold of bits easier than some for doing that. But it's totally worth it because the creations that she has is just fantastic. I can't do that. That's something I'm not great at converting or having the sort of insight. As a very special skill to have. I know several people that are amazing at making stuff out of nothing.
It is because it's almost like not Legos, but in this way, a kind of concept like that,
Yeah, you say you're just on a higher level of creativity, of creativeness. But yeah, so I do a little bit of character force work and converting, but yeah, there's some people out there just blow you away with their
Yeah.
stuff.
There's quite a few actually.
Oh, I just went with the dynasty. They're just supposed to be covered in the drip. Yeah. I only went with the I can't even think of the name, the Zarak, the Silent Kings dynasty, because I just thought I like the colours, and they came with their own sort of set of paints when they released the Indomitus set and that. And I found that Chris Peach's little tutorial how to paint them was actually nice and straightforward, and I just went with that. I tried doing Necrons before and gave up. Just didn't work for me.
So did we talk about last time? I got the subscription for like the monthly minis or whatever.
Oh yeah. Imperium.
Yeah, so I did do that, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna try to, bang some of them out, and like, I'll practice on those, and then when I do my enforcers, then I'll have just a little more technique or whatever, And that's what I was figuring. Oh, where did I put that? Oh, this layer. Okay. Layer confusion.
Apologies again for pizza eating.
As long as it's good pizza. What do you like on your pizza?
I tend to just go for pepperoni nowadays.
Okay, so generally me too.
As I say, it's just it's one of those. It ticks the boxes. You got the meat, you got the cheese. That's all you need. I actually used to work in Pizza Hut when I was young and foolish as a second job.
Oh, okay.
So I worked sort of 9 hours at one job, and then immediately went from there to work in Pizza Hut for another several hours in order to feed myself. But yeah, if you ever had a pizza made by me, you would have got your money's worth.
Excuse me.
Yes. So have some of my spoopy bullets looking all busted throws me off. You've got to be happy with your stuff, Crimson. So obviously, if I was in your situation, I would try to avoid those spoopy boys and try and just not make them spoopy. That's what air filters are for.
Why did I see some box? Maybe it's a few weeks old. I thought I saw like a new kind of knight come out or something. Or is there like a release of another box set for this game coming out?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
This is if you're talking about the new stuff for Adeptus Titanicus.
Yeah. When is it announced?
It's going up on pre-order this weekend, and I'm getting all childlike at the moment because this is my Christmas.
All right, good.
Because I got a few presents for Christmas, but my main presents I asked for like vouchers because I knew that they was going to be bringing out something.
Oh, that's smart.
But it's taken 4 months for it to turn up. So
so it is like legit Christmas then.
Yeah, so this is where I get to open my Christmas presents, my main presents. So yeah, this weekend there will be a lot of money being dropped on new Titanicus, the new box sets, which are really awesome value for money.
Okay, that's how they get someone like me, because I'll be like, I don't really use it, but if it's a good value, that's like the sign up for the monthly thing. I was like, what's a good value?
yeah. Well, that is good value, and the Titans is good value. And like I've seen on Twitter all week, it's like people going, "Why are GW making me choose between Curse City and the Adeptus Titanicus?" Because they can.
Yeah.
Your money is theirs. Give it to them.
What? Okay, wait, Joseph. What kind of fist did you say this was again, Lee?
Thunderstrike fist.
Do they traditionally have like are like they powered with some sort of glow or anything? Do you ever see them like that, or are they?
I tend to, well, I say like with power weapons and stuff, is there's meant to be like an electrical charge, so like maybe like a little like coruscating
Okay, so
electrical.
that's what I was thinking. Like maybe some around the hoses and maybe around those chains or something. Okay.
Well, yeah, because the chains would be electrified if it was connecting to the actual fist itself. So that would be lethal. Oh my god, that would be so deadly. Right. You know, because you're getting hit by a power fist and electrocuted by all the chains.
There you go.
That's greedy death, and I approve.
I'll try to get some little, because I was thinking maybe like I'll figure out the color, maybe a little blue or a little color in there just to.
Oh, flamies. Yeah,
that's right. I love the exhaust ports. They get me, and I figure when I do these, it's something that you can only really do digitally or whatever. You know what I mean? So I try to play up the fact, hey, we're doing digital, so. Oh, see, he said blue lightning. So you can hit him with the flamey death and then finish him off with that fist.
Yeah.
So you hit him with the.
You're already a Knight Scion. You already know how to kill things as a Knight Scion.
I'm gonna
shoot them in the face and then punch them in the goonies.
One of my friends a long time ago. I don't know what game or whatever we're playing. He's like nuke them till they glow and shoot them in the dark. That would always crack me up.
Words of wisdom. Like
I don't know what game, but.
So let's see what else is going on there. So there's airfields of 4. The guys, this paint over is awesome, and the banter is great. Thank you very much, Joseph. We enjoy ourselves.
Yeah.
Sarakin, yeah. But we got that. Trust me, there is no filtering out that smell. Amy and I went over the Wah in Heaven yesterday.
The
war.
Yeah, he was talking to me about some of the Necron stuff and that. Because I was trying to get filled in. Like, you know, I mean, there's so much that I don't know, you know.
Yeah, you got 60 million years of lore to get through, or background story, or whatever fluff. As I like
whatever. From pretty much second on, I'm lost. After second.
What else is there? Blue lightning. Yeah, as Crimson with
some blue. Yeah, I'll put some blue lightning on there.
A bit loud.
You're right.
Carried away there. The only thing better than melty death is lightning death. That's shocking.
Okay, that's pretty dark. Get dark. Ooh, wow.
Start at the beginning. No, I refuse. I'm in the flow. I'm there. Yes. Oh, that is. So that's the thing. The things you do with this to make it even look 3D. It looks like it's actually part of a diorama there.
Yeah.
Obviously, the base does help, but the way you got the smoke behind it, billowing smoke behind it, it's just making it even more.
That's what I'm really trying to do is just, you know, because it's a real object, so I just try to keep forcing that. That nice white head, you know, on this thing. I was like, oh, yeah, the flamer can be going off, and it can be lighting that white head, and it'll like really pop out and everything. I get all geeked out. I look at these and I'm like, oh, that's the hard part too, because I'll see so many and they're like, oh, I really want to paint that over. And I'll see that, like, oh, I really want to paint that over. And by the time I'm done looking, I'm like, oh man, how many can I get done?
Like a kid in a candy store. Thank you, Crimson. It does look bloody awesome. That's the thing, you just have to go over it in sepia, and then it'd be like one of the Forge World books. They love a bit of sepia.
I'm gonna have to pick up some of the old Forge Worlds. I never picked up many Forge World, any actually, because I don't know when those books really started coming out. But like I said, it was probably right when I was finishing kind of playing and stuff. I don't remember. I mean, I think they right at second edition. I know they had something coming out, but I never picked any of them up really. And then I know they put out a whole ton since then. You know.
Yeah, the originally, like, Forge World produced the Imperial Armor books, which would focus on like one conflict somewhere with a couple of, like, you know, Imperial versus aliens or chaos or something like that. But then they'd give you all the background information to the conflict, the causes, the escalation and resolution sort of thing. And like you get all the really cool sort of fluff on the forces that participated in the conflicts. But they were such an epic tome to have, and just to look. The artwork in there was second to none. It was like, you'd get all the pictures of the tanks with all the different camos and everything. Environment. It was like a Jane's military journal where you could just look through there and go, "Oh, this is
it's like that stuff," and then they kind of turn it into the real books that used to come out for it.
Yeah, and absolutely, and obviously then he'll give you some like characterful missions. The Stormblade. When that came out, that model, and because I used to get hold of the every opportunity, I used to get hold of the old Forge World catalogs they used to do, and I remember sitting in work with my friend Mike eating, because we were always eating. It was a breadstick with sausage and bacon and egg in there, sort of thing, for our breakfast, and perusing the Forge World catalogue and just looking at that Stormblade, because that plasma cannon on it is just amazing. Such a nice tank. Although I'm more of a Shadow Sword, that's why I bought the Akurian patterned Shadow Sword, because it just looked absolutely badass. And that is an official
I gotta put my list. I did not, and it's the little things add up. I have to put the actual link to the video in the tweet when I tweet it, because now I at least preset them up, so I schedule it. But then there's always like this little check mark I should put in there, and I didn't put that in, so I have to make a nice little list of like the best practices for when you tweet it out, because it does make a difference. And that's one of the reasons I do all this. Remember this stuff.
It's fun enough. We was remember last week when we was talking about like with likes and stuff, where a work in progress would get more likes than the finished article.
Oh yeah,
that conversation has still been going on. Like I've seen like several other people where they've commented about that same situation, sort of thing. Leaky Cheese, who was on there yesterday, he was actually, I think he said on one reply pretty much what we were saying last week about all of that. But it is weird how that all sort of happens, because it is a head scratcher, because having an unpainted model getting more likes than the finished article.
It's just a lot is right time, right place. You know what I mean? The right people at the right time, and it gets retweeted. It's like that's what it is.
Yeah, that's true. I was to say, it's like I think in the last several months, because at the start of last year, before the whole COVID thing kicked off, there was some post I was putting up on like Instagram. And I was getting sort of maybe, some of them like 500 to 600 likes on there, and I was like, "Oh my god!" It suddenly just spiked, and I had a series of posts of posting up my Titans on there and getting lots of likes, which is like, you think, "Wow, that's amazing." I was surprised. I'm happy with just getting one like.
For sure, no, that's how.
It was weird how it just went straight to there, and I thought, wow. But then I don't know what's happened, maybe through lockdown or something like that. But even though I'm painting other Titans, I'm putting them up there, and they're not getting nowhere near the same sort of level.
It's whenever the algorithm picks. So I noticed that with a couple of mine when I would post them, like whatever, the algorithm would pump it out there. So I would see on Instagram sometimes it would like spike to like 1,000 likes, and I was like, well, that never happens. You know what I mean? I don't have that.
Well, I did get earlier on in the year, I posted up a picture of my Sol Tarvitz model. Whether or not I think I got it quite quickly from Forge World after pre-order. And
I'll look into that, Chris. Thanks for the heads up. He just said that, from the YouTube channel, he can't get to some of the stuff, and that may be because I screwed him up. So thanks. I'll look into that after.
We all like the feedback. Thanks, Joseph.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that because this is not my
But
forte.
yeah. But yeah, I posted up this picture of Soul Tarvitz, and he got like 800 likes, and I'm like, where the hell did that come from? It was like,
I know.
and
I can't believe so I'll tweet now, and I mean, people will be like 50 likes, and I'll consistently get a bunch of likes, and for me, that's still something like totally new. You know what I mean? It's like, oh my gosh, I'll like tweet something out and just like normal conversation and get like 20 likes. It feels like everyone's watching. It's funny. It's like, yeah, it makes it fun though. You like tweet out and people reply and whatever, talk about stuff.
yeah. Let's say I actually like having like when people. I'll always anyone and everyone who sort of puts a comment, I'll always reply to them, sort of thing. Because
Yeah, I do too. I try to a lot. Yeah.
I'm more than happy to speak back to them and say thank you. What's it?
Some blue.
Joseph's agreeing with Crimson about this being insanely good, which it is.
Good.
Joseph also got the Shadow Sword too, because why not? Exactly. Yeah. The Shadow. I got the Shadow Sword. Was the first super heavy tank I ever got. Then I got when they brought out the plastic Baneblade. I got that because it's a Baneblade. And I acquired the Stormlord, which is the troop carrying one with the big mega bolters.
Okay.
I thought it was off of eBay, and I got it for about, I think, 35, 40 pounds. So it was cheaper than what it was, and obviously I had to do a bit of work to it, but it was a great model to have. Oh, Rich Nutter's just turned up, and he's got good news. He's finally watched The Last Starfire.
Oh, hey. Rich has
I certainly hope you enjoyed it.
And someone, I have to look at those later. I want to try to get some more of this done before I go. I'll spend all the kind of time chatting and not drawing, and I'm like, I'm gonna get some stuff done. Because someone posted some Marvel minis that look good in a big group, kind of like these malifaux.
That's somebody I know, and that James. His name's it's JB Paints.
That was JB Paints. Yeah.
It's a friend James. Who he used to work in Forge World store Games Workshop in Warhammer World itself, and he was my personal shopper.
Awesome.
Whenever I turned up, I'd always end up buying something off of him.
Yeah. Some people have a knack for, you know what I mean? They kind of get you and minis and what you're looking for and all that.
Well, it's not just that. It's just basically he was just there, and we just sort of always ended up serving me. Even like if I just got into the Games Workshop part and just picked up some boxes, it'd always be serving me. So I then started making a point that I refused to be served by anybody apart from him. And funnily enough, there was one day where he wasn't there, and I thought, I don't want to buy anything. There's nothing there that interests me. And then he was starting late, and when he turned up, within about 5 minutes, I'd gone and bought like several boxes of something.
That's funny. Let's see if we like this or not.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's when you're sort of 30 odd years old, it will show its age. But at the time, that was the most advanced sort of and that was the first sort of CGI movie as well, because the whole space battles and everything was fully CGI. So it was the first movie to do CGI in that respect. At least it wasn't necessarily like green screen, which would have made it probably look a little bit worse. But yeah, it is dated, but for what it is, and funnily enough, when I was watching Ty and that guy on YouTube, they were saying about part of the thing with The Last Starfighter is that they'd run out of money towards the end. So where you actually watch the very last sort of scenes where the spaceship's taking off, and as he returns to space to start the Starfighter core or whatever. You can actually see how they haven't tidied up the computer animation, and you see patches appear. So like little block patches appear as the ship takes off. But yeah, it's an awesome film, one of my favouriteest films ever, because it is just you can call it cheesy, but it's such a great film.
Thank you, Chris, sir. I won't turn any down, that's for sure.
You can go with the Ko-Fi, have a coffee.
Have a coffee. It helps. And I hold it on to something. What's funny is early on I got some, and I had a couple commissions, and I knew doing this, I'm like, I first wanted to use it to fund itself, and then if I get any extra, I don't want to, like, if at all possible, I don't need it for life stuff. Whatever I wanted to like store up, And so I was like, well, I had something like, I'm like, instead of just sitting there, I'm like, I'll take a little bit. And I mean, it's not a lot of money, it's just commissions and all that was coming in, but I bought stock with it. But then the funny thing is, it went up like 30% or whatever, So I was like, all right, cool. Look, at least that. I'm like, I'll sell it when if I need it for something for, whatever AE. I'm like, that at least it like made me a little money while I was sitting there.
Well, to say, like, doing these little paint overs, it is. Well, I'll say reluctant to say it, but I will say it's basically it's like you're giving back to the hobby community.
Oh, yeah. Well, for sure.
There's many sort of other artists that do this for anybody, sort of thing. So not only do you offer your time and commission services and all that sort of stuff, but it's nice just to pick 2 or 3 people a week, and because these pictures, I absolutely love my picture that you done for me of my Warlord. Actually, I've got to get a copy of the one you done last week with Eternity's Gates, bad boy. But it's fantastic. Like, and I want to get mine like printed off. They
do look pretty cool. I gotta say, I print them like they do come out pretty cool. Like, I have some like, wow, that comes out nice. And I was glad I bought the expensive old printer, but it's worth it because I'll print some and then I'm like, how is that color print, or is it dark, or is that, you print enough and you see enough after I do it, and I can, start to predict, okay, if this one goes to print, lighten at 3%, and then that way when it prints, it'll be like, great on there and stuff. So learn a lot from doing that.
Yeah, sometimes it's not worth just getting a cheap printer, or especially a cheap printer, because not all of them print in all the colors that you really want.
No.
And when you're transferring from here onto another sort of medium, then if you haven't got the materials and you haven't got the right equipment, it just ruins it, really. So that's always
it's like the last part. If it's not printed right, then it's like, oh, it's like, I don't want people order a print and it's like, oh, it looks beautiful, and then they get a print, they're like, oh, it's like, oh god, I didn't want that to happen.
It was all deflated.
Yeah, I was like, oh gosh, I gotta get one just because of that,
As just carry on with Rich, he was generally enjoyable watching The Last Starfighter. So it is. I love, as I said, I love the film. I love Grig, that strange alien.
Oh, yeah.
I like to think of them fighting evil in another dimension. What? They're dead.
Wasn't the A-Team guy was Hannibal in that?
Oh no, that's
Battle
Beyond the Stars. No, looked like him. No, that was his name. Oh, Dan. No, I know. Yeah, no. Centauri.
Was it a space cowboy? What was that?
Oh, the space cowboy. That was Battle Beyond the Stars.
But was that what's his face? Was that the A-Team guy?
Yeah, the Battle Beyond the Stars was George Peppard.
Okay.
As his name is Space Cowboy. He has no actual name. And he goes out drinking whiskey, smoking cigars, and playing the harmonica. Proper. Carrying weapons. That's what Earth space cowboys do. We just sell
Yeah.
weapons for everybody in space. And you had the spaceship, which looks a little bit sort of like a womb and uterus and ovaries sort of thing. Nell, but she was a badass. She absolutely kicked ass. And Robert Vaughn was in that as well. But
it was funny seeing. Sometimes I like check the names, especially the old cartoons. I've noticed I checked a couple of the names in the old cartoons to see who did the voices, and it's just funny because it's like sometimes it's like these actors at the very beginning of their career, you know.
Yeah, well, it's like even like well, I think again when we was doing our cartoon episode, many we were comparing childhood cartoons with each other. That was when I brought up about I Am Weasel.
Yeah.
Which was voiced by Michael Dorn, who played Worf in Star Trek Next Generation. You know, I think that adds a little bit to the whole thing because, like, if he was, a normal person or a voice artist, he might not have got that much more of a following. But because it was Michael Dorn, who's always a very serious actor sort of thing in his parts, and he's a weasel who's incredibly intelligent and clever, versus a baboon who isn't. But yeah, it's I think I'm trying to think of other cartoons where you have. I think like South Park. If you remember South Park, when they used to get the occasional sort of celebrity come in and do.
Oh yeah, they did. They totally
did.
Like
George Clooney as the doctor who was operating on Kenny, and they replaced his part with a baked potato.
Did you? I have Amazon, and I don't know if we talked about this last week. They released that cartoon. It's a cartoon, and I'll watch some cartoons. You know what I mean? But I'm not like some people are like really into them. I'm not like that big into them. But this one was Robert Kirkman, and it's kind of like a superhero thing, and it's
Invincible.
Invincible, yeah, and it was interesting. I was like, I'm glad they're doing it because I'm like, okay, it's something a little different. It's a weird mix of kind of bloody, but yet kind of like, you know what I mean? It's something with like a teenage, you know what I mean, main character and the kind of family. So it's just like this weird mix, but I was kind of enjoying that. I was like, all right, they're trying.
Now, I've heard good things about that. Like a few people like we're posting up on like social media going, "Oh, you got to watch this. This is so cool and all that." And that's the best form of advertising at the end of the day, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. It's like because it's a real person. Like, okay, if you have similar taste to someone and whatever, then it's like, oh, I might watch that.
Yes. Oh yeah, Andrew Fenner. Better be on it. And Andy PH, I believe, from Twitter.
Oh,
I'm hoping so. As I point accusingly at his name on my my phone.
Oh yeah, I noticed that now. I was like, hey, thanks for making it over here. I didn't look. I gotta change my. There we go. 8 people watching now. Woo.
Crimson been saying it. What yourself, Artist Empire does is amazing for the hobby.
Thank you, Crimson.
It is. And a psychologist to the Astartes. Good evening. Hello.
Oh,
are you still working today? Or?
That's awesome.
It was you. Ha. But yeah, it's nice to have you guys with us again. Obviously, the regulars and some new people, which is always pleasant.
That's what makes it. I didn't see. That's what I didn't get that like about live streaming because, like I said, I didn't do a lot of YouTube or any of that stuff, so I didn't get like how it would be, even like as a viewer, like what would be appealing about it, and then after I'm chatting with everyone and you're chatting, and then I'm like, okay, yeah, this makes sense, it's like I get it,
Well, I'm just there eating pizza while you do the hard work. That's that's my official title, pizza eater.
Makes me want pizza.
And actually, yeah, T-shirt. Where's this from? In the chat.
Oh,
no prizes.
Wait. I'll try. Can you see it? Do I have to zoom in a little? We'll give you a little more screen room. You deserved it. You're we'll do it this way real quick. This one, and then bam, bam. There you go. He's got some shirts. I gotta get some shirts now. I don't see, but you see what is like you're old enough to have some good vintage ones from the right time and stuff. I would be like kind of a poser and running out and buying them now.
This was a Christmas present, so I get very cool Christmas presents every now and again. Which is
apparently you do. You got Titans coming your way, and
although I do on occasions, like my last few T-shirt purchases were all expense related.
Oh, I could see that. Yeah.
So I was wearing it yesterday, so I couldn't wear it tonight because obviously that's dirty. But like the Pure and Clean T-shirt that they were that the crew were part of when it was on the Canterbury, and I've got a really cool one with a profile of the Rossante.
Awesome. Yeah, I gotta look for some. I should look for some. I don't look around for much of that stuff, and I know there's so much cool stuff out there. I'm not like big in, I guess, just shopping in general, but I'm like, yeah, I gotta look at some cool stuff.
And Andy Fenner was the first one, and followed by Crimson, which was Tron, which is correct. Which, funnily enough, was a film that I decided to go and watch instead of watching E.T.
Oh, yeah. I could see that. I probably would have made the same call then.
Well, to be fair, whether or not, because I was only like, that was like 1982, so I'd only been about 7 at the time.
Yeah.
But being taken out to the cinema by my mum and my stepdad, and seeing the queues for E.T., one, I didn't want to queue.
Oh, yeah.
And Tron didn't have that many, and I just like the look of Tron. The
glowing,
the glowing neon, and
it had a feel to it.
Yeah, and I went in there. I watched Tron and I said I've watched Tron many times. He was like again one of those films that were very influential on my young sci-fi brain. And it was also, if you remember the other week when I was saying about meeting Bruce Boxleitner.
Yeah, actually I do.
He was Tron.
Yeah.
And that was the start of my discovery of having a childhood hero, but not knowing who he was until much later.
That's funny.
Oh, thank you very much, Andrew. Commenting on my Ordo Sinister Warlord. If you wasn't aware, I think I can safely say I was the first non-GW person to build and paint theirs from release, because I noticed when they brought out the pictures before they released it, when I was attending the Legio Walks event back in February last year, I had a Titan already painted up for Legio Kratos, and I thought, wait a sec, it's got those armor plates. Okay, if I take these bits off, because we've got these bits to go on, and I fiddled about with it and basically started painting it already. So I actually turned up to the event with 90% of the Titan already built and painted. All I needed was the extra bits from the kit, so the resin parts, so the head, gun, shoulder mount things as well. So by Sunday night after the event, and I got home, I finished it. So it was like, dunk, hey guys, look what I've got. But I actually
I already know I always end up going back to some of these after, or pretty much all of them. And what I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to stop this one for now, and I'm going to switch to another one, because I'm going to go back, and a lot of this stuff I just add noodly little things after, little lighting stuff and that, and just make different things pop. But I was going to show the time lapse real quick, and then I was going to move on, and then, because I don't know, what have we been here, 54 minutes? So we might be.
So we've got an hour and a half to do too.
Yeah, we can do it.
I have faith in you. Everyone in the chat has faith in you.
That's why I did, and I tried to pick a selection I love this thing. So yeah, this is going to be a good. I'm going to work on it more later for some of the highlights on the body and like the face and that stuff. But this will make a good video one too. I'm going to do this one. A good thing I mocked some of this one up, so I know to try to not do it totally cold. I'm like, okay, usually if I can figure out a few things, I feel better about it during the stream. Oh, I do have to erase some of this.
Crimson. That's not fair. Have you seen what he's written in there?
And what did he write?
Oh, it seems Discord, no one has won. Grats AE, you have survived not talking Doom.
They were in Discord saying it's going to be like 2 minutes before Doom gets brought up, and then they're like, he's going to say it and ruin it.
No, 7 o'clock. That's the Doom watershed. Because otherwise we get Fremen knocking at our doors.
Yeah.
Hey, you're not observing the water discipline. But yes, Andy and ET later to be revealed as a possible Jedi. Yeah. Force user, not necessarily a Jedi. It could just be a Force user. Yeah. It could be his race. The Etians, Etonians, no, Etians, no, Etians, alien race. Is obviously him and
wasn't it E.T. the video game that got buried in the desert by Atari?
Oh yeah, there was. Yeah, I remember watching.
I think that was the E.T. I don't know why that just popped in my head, but I was like, wait, was that the E.T. game where they buried them all because it was the biggest? And then they literally went and redug them up for like a few years ago or whatever.
Yeah, I always remember there was something. I can't remember why though. Because I've watched,
because they overnamed it. It was like one of the big busts, and that was like the whole like one of the parts that like Atari got changed or whatever, you know.
Oh right, yeah.
That's what I think it was.
They just bury them because they didn't want anybody to have a single copy of it existing.
I don't know what the deal, because it was already sold. It was just, I think they literally had so much stock that they had to get rid of it, and they just like,
yeah. Joseph, that looks awesome from Joseph. Look ace on a t-shirt. And then psychologist to the Astartes. It's time for #Doom chat. Actually,
supposed to. On one thing, I know I already asked, but my mind is so half gone. When is that supposed to come out?
November.
Oh, so it is away. Oh, there'll be plenty of Dune chats before now and then.
Yeah, it was meant to be December last year, and then obviously no cinemas are open, so they put it to November this year. So it's a month earlier than a year. So
there's no real Dune minis, are there? There's never been really any Dune minis,
apart from action figures.
Okay, yeah, but
when it first came out, David Lynch's one, there was because I wanted to buy some, but I was only young and I was poor and I couldn't. My parents wouldn't buy me Dune figures. No, you'll have Star Wars like everybody else. I want Dune. It's Sting with a little cat. But yeah, they would be worth a fortune now.
Oh yeah, a lot of that stuff.
Yes. Oh, damn it. Rich, I was impressed with the Side Titan 2. Thank you very much, Rich. Yeah, I was talking to Scott. I can't remember his surname. I think he's under Scott Paints or something. On thingy. His other half is Nikki Sullivan. So but he was talking about wanting to get hold of one of the Side Titans, and I just said to him, they come into stock, they go straight out again. They're just
such things that everybody wants, and then they
because they're Ordo Sinister. The name alone, just that sounds nasty. I got to have it. But in game terms, it is it's a nightmare. It's like, I'm going to shoot you and I don't have to roll to hit you because it's a beam weapon, and I'm going to go bypass your shields, and hurt you because it's really high strength. Yeah, it's a meanie. It's a big meanie. That's what it is.
A big meanie.
He was an urban legend that turned out to be true. AVG did it as a documentary. Yeah, I remember there was something I've watched talking about them burying stuff in the desert.
Yeah.
Talking about burying stuff, I actually last year I watched on Netflix. It was a TV series called Narcos.
Oh yeah. I actually watched that too.
Talking about what's his name?
You mean the not Capone, I want to say Capone. Not Chapo, El Chapo, or the other one?
No, not him. It was the first one that was sort of who basically.
Yeah, now I can't remember his name. He's like super famous, and I can see his face and everything, but I can't remember his name.
I could just see the meme, the meme where he's waiting.
Pablo Escobar. There you go. Thank you, Crimson.
I should have known that because I got a like from Pablo Escobar Jr. for a tweet once.
Okay.
Where it was actually Graham McNeil, where he was going out to America, and he was talking about black pudding, which is one of those British things, you know. And somebody said about, you're going to try and smuggle some into the US, and I commented, "What do you think? He's an author. He's not Pablo Escobar, sort of thing." And I got like within seconds, suddenly it must have been a bot. Pablo Escobar Jr. likes this tweet. I was like, "Oh my god!" I thought he was dead. But yeah, in Narcos, they earn so much money from the drug trade that they couldn't launder it. They ended up burying millions.
Oh yeah, that's right. Just all over in the farmers' fields and people.
And you know, at the height, they were earning 50 million a day.
Yeah, that's insane.
They were feeding the entire drug trade in like the US and everywhere.
Yeah.
It's just like when you like watching this thing, because obviously it's taken from the history and all that sort of stuff. You know, it's just like, oh my god, how much money? And you're like, oh, I want to pay off the debt, the national debt for the country.
Yeah.
Okay. But, that was just crazy. Sorry, AVGN did it. So thank you for clarifying that for us, psychologist. It was terrible, and it was published at the start of the video game crash of the 80s. Yeah, it was definitely something like that. It was such a bad game that they just basically shunned it.
And I think it was at the wrong time, and then the market was crashing, and then it, increased it and all that. So
yeah, and I think it wasn't actually based on the film either. It was like they just made it up.
I played it at the time. I can't even remember. Some typical cheesy,
this little platformer sort of thing. That's not a shame, Andrew. Only watching the original Dune. If you was here last week, because there is, if you go through my tweets as well, I did post a link to.
Oh no, you did.
A fan edited redux of the original Dune movie, and I watched it all after our sort of broadcast last week, and I actually found it was actually more enjoyable with what the editing had added to the actual story.
Mm-hmm.
It made more sense, if you know what I mean. So it made it a little bit longer. They've incorporated scenes that were cut, but it just added that little bit more to the actual whole thing. I actually really enjoyed it. So, and it's free to watch on YouTube. Dune Diver. If you search for that, you'll find it. Pablo Escobar. Thank you, Crimson.
I think I talked about this once, and I don't know. I'll just shout it out because it's something I liked. If you liked, what was the movie? It had Sigourney Weaver and Tim Allen and.
That was the Santa Claus one.
No, it was the one where they're in space, and it's like a rip off of
Oh, Galaxy Quest.
Galaxy Quest. So I think I brought it up before, but anyone watching might be into this. There's a documentary on one of the Amazons or something like that about Galaxy Quest, and it's so worth watching. Like that was I watched that documentary because I really love that movie. It's one of my favorite comedies, and then that documentary about it was really cool.
Well, that's the thing. Galaxy Quest is the most Star Trek, non-Star Trek film.
Yeah, totally.
But yeah, Galaxy. I remember watching Galaxy Quest because I wanted to see it, but we went to the cinema to watch something else. I can't remember what that was, and then immediately afterwards we watched Galaxy Quest. We wasn't planning.
You did a double feature.
Yeah, we done a double feature.
Okay,
we weren't planning because I was like sulking. My girlfriend at the time said, "Okay, we'll go watch something else then." So we just reloaded on our soft drinks and sweets.
The squeaky wheel gets the oil.
Yeah. Once I get in that mood, once I get that feisty, no, I don't want to go home. I want to stay here and watch another film. Once I'm in that mood, I've got to go and watch it. Belligerent and childish. It's part of my charm. But yeah, we watched that, and oh my god, that was just so funny. And again in lockdown, I rewatched it because I hadn't seen it for a few years. It still holds up. It's just, for Glaffor's hammer.
It's such a bummer that he passed away. And he like a good actor, and it was great in there. That was. It's one of those where it's like it's just so well done because it's a comedy, but like the acting was so well done, you know.
The historical records. Just what do you mean historical records? And they base their entire culture on their. It's just brilliant. It's bound to happen.
Yeah, really.
Rebuilt a ship from watching TV shows. Oh, we don't know what he does though. What? we built it. It was in the historical documents. We built it.
Sigourney's thing where she's always repeating what the computer says was just some of those like the instances where it happened. Some were just so funny because they're like such not subtle, but like well written, poignant times to do it. It was funny.
Oh, that was awesome. What's it? There was a show called Dark Tourist, and one of the episodes was basically a tour of Pablo Escobar's kingdom and an interview with his top hitman. Those sort of things. I love watching like documentaries like that. There was one that I watched. It wasn't Pablo Escobar, but it was a guy called Lenny McLean who was. It wasn't a gangster. It was basically a bare knuckle fighter from London, and he became like the number one bouncer for nightclubs in London, like the Hippodrome, and like he ran the crew there. And like in fighting terms, like he was an absolute monster. Do you ever see Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels?
Yes, but it's been a while. Yes, but I did see it.
Do you know the bad guy, Hatchet Harry?
Oh yeah.
His henchman was Lenny McLean.
Oh, okay.
He actually got into films because it's such everybody knew Lenny.
Yeah.
And he got into trouble because there was an incident where somebody died. He punched somebody who was causing a ruckus at a nightclub.
The person died or whatever.
And the guy died a little while later or something, But he got arrested for that, but he didn't get charged for it because he proved to be innocent. He wasn't, because of that else happened or whatever. But the guy, like when you're hearing him talk about when you go into a fight. And it sort of reminded me of watching like Mike Tyson when he was at his prime, where you'd see Mike Tyson prowling the ring.
Oh yeah, you knew so. Yeah, he would like. He was going
you look at it and you're going, "Oh, he's going to rip your head off," and he's just saying that, and he's just being like, "All right, yeah, this is what we do, son." And it was just like fascinating watching those sort of. I love all those sort of things, like seeing behind the scenes and like hearing stuff like that. But yeah, Pablo Escobar was a complete like, oh my god.
Yeah,
yeah, he did, Andy. Yeah. Human ID. That game was so bad.
Oh, for ET, yeah.
Yeah. That's
So
the thing.
bad
It's
they
like
made a movie about it or whatever,
well, that's the thing. It's it has that sort of cult following, urban legends, cult films, TV programs, and they get all remade and dug up and thrown out.
Yeah.
I was just thinking of there was another thing like where, you have all those movie tie-ins, all the little computer games that come out, and you'd want to play the game to try and get an inside, to the film or something, because sometimes things came out before.
And it would almost never do that.
No.
Like it would never. When I was young, the one I ended up playing, I used to hate them all, and then when GoldenEye came out, I loved that GoldenEye game for the N64 back in the day.
Psychologist at his studies. Pablo Escobar is also the cause of one of the weirdest news headlines ever. Cocaine hippos may need to be culled.
Oh yeah, because he used to have them all at his place, and then they were taking over the river or something. Yeah,
guard hippos. So it's like some sort of like Bond villain.
Yeah, with the hippos.
Yeah. Dr. Evil.
Hippos kill more humans than any other creature, I think, is the deal.
Yeah.
I don't have an answer for that. Is there something else I can help with?
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
My Siri just came on for. I didn't ask you anything. Go away.
Just kicking out. Oh, and you know what? I'm thinking about it one time. I have an 800 number, right? And I don't use it for anything right now, but I still have it active. I was really like, I could have someone call in. Like if it worked out right, I could literally call in on the phone and then just put it on speaker. So one day we might have to have a call in.
Just call 0800.
Yeah, it's literally. I can just have them call and I can activate it. It's always on, but I can have it ring, through mine and just do it for that while for the show. So it's like, one day we're gonna have to have a call in.
It's one of the weird things about phone numbers is like now with modern technology, you don't really remember many phone numbers.
No, I don't.
I can remember a phone number from the film Smokey and the Bandit. It was, and it's where the two brothers, the Enos brothers, and they're in drag or something, and they've just been to some sort of wild sort of like drag club and all that, and the little Enos is like become infatuated with one of the hostesses there, and he just comes out and just keeps on going like 555-0202. Just like. Never tried phoning it though, but yeah, sorry. Random thoughts.
That's what this show is all about.
Yeah. Then the psychologists are going on about merging Pablo Escobar with Dr. Evil. Hippos with freaking laser beams.
Hippos with laser beams. Laser beams.
There's the shark. He wanted sharks with laser beams, but all he got was sea bats. Are they ill-tempered? Very.
There were some funny ones with those movies.
Austin Powers again, just so wrong, but it's right.
I know.
Having like Michael Caine in there as his dad.
Oh, that's right. It was his dad. Yeah.
When they're talking in like Cockney rhyming slang, and they're like the subtitles loses them. The next minute he said, "And they shat on a turtle." Yeah, even we Brits don't know what they were talking about. Yeah, that's right, psychologist. 555 was a prefix because it was not used anywhere.
Yeah, so they could give it out and not. Because I think
Yeah, and
sometimes they used to use real numbers back at some point. Because I remember some people talking about that. There was like real ones released, and then everyone was calling them.
there
And
was
there's some song. There's some song with the number in it, and everyone was calling it. I forget what song that was now. 8654439, or I forget whatever it was. There was some.
I remember seeing is it James Franco
Yeah.
when he done The Room, or
Okay.
or the film that was about a film called The Room with Tommy Wiseau, who made this film on some budget, and it appears in like some of the worst films ever, and it's called The Room, and he played Tommy Wiseau, and what they did, he was on Fallon, I think,
Mm-hmm.
and they were saying that they actually had this billboard put on this like interstate outside LA with this phone number on it, sort of thing.
Oh.
And at the time, if anyone phoned it, it would have gone to a phone that James Franco had.
Oh,
So
that's
it's like,
yeah.
yeah. So like he would like answer the phone doing an impersonation of like Tommy Wiseau, whatever his name is. But that's a crazy film to watch. Like even like watching the original film and then watching the film about how he made.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like completely like mental how he's acting in it, he's funded it, he's directed it, and he's like trying to do a James Dean sort
Yeah,
of thing.
yeah, and try to do
Tearing
it.
it apart. Oh, hi, Mark.
And if you do happen to be watching and you're enjoying, please hit that like button on this. That helps, and I'll still be drawing for another little while with this, doing the next paint over, so might get a few more viewers and such.
I like the spectral dudes at the back in particular. So
Yeah,
they stand out really nicely against that green background.
Yeah, they took a great photo of it. It was like a great photo. I was like, oh wow, it just has a great feel to it, you know. So you got them all posed good, and they all work together. I was like, I don't have to move any of them. I'm gonna put this on time lapse, and I'm gonna tend to the dog for a second, and I will be right back. So you keep busy.
Yeah, it's just psychologist to the Astartes. The Room is an amazing experience. It's terrible, but it's brilliant. It's one of those. It is so bad. You can't really say it's so bad it's good. It is an experience. You're right there. It's something you have to endure and fight your way through because it is. But it's just how the hell this guy funded to make this movie and get it done. It shows just like if you're determined enough and you have the belief, the self-belief, you can pull the amazing out of nothing. And it is amazing in its own way, but it's not a good way. Oh dear. I would say from what I've seen, like I've watched like there's a YouTube channel where they go through like the worst films according to IMDb, and like you're getting all the real bad movies like Birdemic or whatever it's called, and the Druids. But The Room is right there. The Room is one that I never got. Tommy Wiseau was so desperate to be in cinema, and the fact that people keep talking about it means he reached a goal somehow. Baffling. Yeah, exactly. And that's how social media, word of mouth, is the most lethal and effective tool for getting anything to happen. That's why you get all like people like dropping. Oh yeah, I was talking to this person and talking to somebody that knows is going to spread. Oh yeah, this person's been talking to this person, and then Chinese whispers goes off. And It's sort of like with the Tiger King thing with Joe Exotic, because people watched it and it was so bizarre and said on social media, this thing is just bonkers. It's crazy. It's unbelievable, but you get to watch it. And then everybody, when lockdown started, was watching Tiger King. Admittedly, I didn't, but I like to go against the grain. Those models, Human ID is from malifaux. It's one of the gangs you get. You'd love malifaux. They've got some really characterful models in there, and it's all sort of like gothic horror. You've got some really, excellent little sculpts, and you build your little teams up because it's a skirmish battle game. So that's like your entire sort of force that you would deploy there. So it's nice to have something that you don't have to, invest a lot of money. You just got to invest a good bit of time into getting those painted up, because I'm staring at the center guy's buttons. just drawn in by those buttons, and I just love the tip of the hat as well. That's really cool. Yes, they are quite sinister. There are some really nasty looking sort of other models in the ranges, gothic horror nurses and all sorts. Things that you would like, nightmares to feel.
See, this is one. Okay, I'm back. I'm stuffing my mouth and then I'm having a Red Bull. I cannot. How would you pronounce this? Human, and I know who it is on Twitter.
Human ID.
Human ID. Okay. See, I'm horrible with that. These were malifaux, and I think they said they just came out recently with these miniatures. Oh, yeah. Here's the answer right there. Oh, yeah. You guys are in chat and see it too. I just get all carried away when they add new device like this. Like I can bring up the text. I like it.
It's a new toy.
All right. Oh no, where did I put my pen? Okay.
The center guy is known as English Ivan. He's neither English nor is he called Ivan. Yeah, as I said, if you look up the malifaux, which I think the spelling is in the chat from Chris. Some of the teams and gangs they have in there are just really awesome to look, and the artwork on the boxes. This looks like box art, as it is now. To be fair, but yeah, it's proper gothic horror. It's right up your street. Looks like Bloodborne. So Crimson says.
There. Oh wait, that's not coming off.
That sounds ominous.
No, I'm making sure I have it on this clamp, and the phone that I'm using for the switcher is on like one of those things that's clamped to a table, but it's like a plastic table, like one of those like folding ones, so it has this chamfered edge, so I'm like worried it's going to pop off even though it's been on forever. I bought a better table now, but I have to go get it. It was a display model. So a display model with the shelf and the stuff, and it was like $700, but they were selling it for $2. And I was like, I need a good table, and I'm like, I'm not gonna. It's the value. The value gets me. I was like, you know what? I'm like, for $2, I'm like, I can swing it. I'm like, you would never sucker me for $7, but I'm like, that table alone is worth over $2, so I'll get it. So I gotta set that up, and then I get all envious of everyone's hobby spaces. Oh, see, I wish I could speak. So. How do we say it? Human ID. Yes. So anyway, on Twitter,
Furies.
I had a nice bookshelf. She had a nice bookshelf with all the stuff put up and everything. And I happened to see it. I'm like, oh, I get all jealous of that. So I was like, all right, I got to get mine and like start putting some stuff. And I'm like, if I ever like go, tape myself or whatever, you know what I mean? I was like, I need a little like background or something. I'm like, I'll get something so I can hang a few things up or whatever.
So you like my worktop. I'm actually used to not actually having a work area. For many years, I had all my hobby stuff in my car, and I would hobby anywhere. I've
Yeah.
hobbied while I was taking the kids to a park by literally
I
having
could see. Oh yeah.
sitting there. They're playing around on some rocks, like this, like climbing rocks,
Mhm.
and I'm laying down on the floor painting models, sort of thing. As they're,
Yeah.
I've got a little bottle of water with me to get me brushes in, selection of paints I'm using, and I'm there. I actually was going to someone's house to have a game of Space Hulk. And weird thing was, he was late getting home. So
Yeah.
I was sitting there for about 45 minutes, and in that time, I painted a Terminator. Um,
That's it.
as
Hey,
a
that's a
really,
good use of the time and everything. That's what.
yeah. So yeah, I've painted in the car. I've painted, obviously at friends' houses, shops,
Mhm.
at work. Most of my hobby was actually done at work because
Yeah.
if it was quiet and all my chores were done, and a lot of the time I ended up working on my own anyway because the boss, like, I'm going to go
Yeah.
home. I go, I don't mind, and I would end up, getting some of my paints out and painting models at work as long as I kept an eye on customers coming in because they
Yeah. As long as
know,
you actually do your job. Yeah.
yeah, but they trusted me enough that I would
Yeah.
actually stop and go and talk to customers instead of ignore
You'd
them.
actually do your job.
I'm just trying to do the eyes. Go
Just let me
away.
finish the eye.
Yeah, but yeah, but I haven't painted at work since probably January last year.
Yeah. Well, and I'm
Uh,
sure now everything's going to be a crazy fest for a while.
yes, it means kindly one. Human ID.
Human ID. Human ID. Human ID.
Leopold on the right is ways offended when Ivan gets blood spatter on his monocle. Yeah, you don't want to get any splash damage on you, really, do you?
Human
And he
ID.
looks he's a very dapper chap as well. He was reminding me. I think he was reminding me someone out of the film Tombstone. That
Oh yeah.
moustache, the bowler
Oh, look at
hat.
the eyes.
It was like the mayor in Tombstone when the Kurt Russell one.
Yeah, yeah.
He has that very like dapper Dan look about him.
Oh, that what? No, I know exactly who you're talking about. He had a black round hat instead of a red one, but I know
Yeah,
that one. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Hey, Wolf Lord Lewis, thanks for making it again.
Woo! What Lord?
Human ID says Leopold on the right is ways offended when Ivan gets blood splatter on the monocle. Yeah.
Always offended.
Always offended. Wipes the monocle off.
And she's been hearing their dialogue in her head.
I do the
That-
same thing with that.
yeah, that's the thing. It's like when you're looking at sort of characters, you always have that sort of like preconceived idea of what they sound like.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like when like through social media, you see somebody's profile picture, and you
Yeah.
all sort of like think, oh, that's what they are. Or alternatively, as I found out with like playing on like Xbox when I first got one,
Yeah.
people's voices does not reflect what they look like.
Oh, I know.
Uh,
So that's funny because no one's, yeah, like I haven't had my face up. So some people probably have what I look like because they've heard me talking or whatever and all that stuff. And be like, oh,
well,
be like a
I
big
can tell that you've
mismatch.
got a
Who knows?
mohawk. You got a green mohawk, and you've got piercings
Yeah.
everywhere. You look like an iguana with
Yeah,
just
well,
like these little.
everyone will be like placing bets on what is it like?
Wolf Lord, how are ye? Ye and we are fine, as
Yeah,
far as we're aware.
I can't be complaining. If I'm having a live stream, I think life kind of be okay.
I'm really liking that shady dude at the back right there. It's sort of
Yeah.
it's that chin.
I
It's
know they
like,
have some cool. There are a lot of personalities in these models. Like they really do. They got a nice look to them, and
The top hat dude
I wonder.
at the
I'll have
back.
to find out about some of the game. I wonder, like, is this like a full like squad or whatever? You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Is this like how big the game is played?
yeah. Basically, you have like your main players, and I think they're sort of like foot sloggers sort of thing.
Okay, yeah.
Ooh. But yeah, it's I was tempted to get into the game because obviously my friends have got in there
Yeah.
already. But I don't know because I am such a fan of sort of sci-fi. I
Yeah.
opted for
Yeah.
a game called Infinity instead. So I got a lot of Infinity models,
Okay.
known, which again is sort of cyberpunk, which I love.
Mhm.
But then I do love gothic horror and steampunk. I love all that
Yeah, I
as
mean, you can
well.
only play so many games. You got so much time, though. You know.
Yeah, and especially when like I'm not really well. Up until recent years, I wasn't really getting a lot of games full stop. I was having
Yeah.
building all these armies up, but not playing. But that sort of changed, and I have played a lot more games in the last sort of like 2-3 years than I had in the 20 odd beforehand. To be fair, this is about 70% of a crew. Oh, it's about so that's almost like a full crew then.
Oh, okay.
Chris.
So 70. Okay, yeah. So a couple more, like 3 more models or something.
This group would use the term culling.
Murder's too tawdry. I like it.
Yeah, that's so sort of street, that's so
Yeah.
common. No, definitely a good culling involved. Oh yes.
Going up for a culling.
Damn you, sir! Damn you! Let me run you through. Give you a good thrashing within an inch of your life.
And what do we got? Where are my?
I was a scratch on my nose, by the way. I won't pick in my nose. Just caught myself again.
I know. That's what. Yeah, I'm always like, okay, be cognizant. I'll be in Discord, and sometimes we'll be in Discord, and like, thank God, it's just like really, it's like the hardcore supporters who are really into stuff because like, I'll have my iPad basically on my stomach, and the mic's right there if I'm off the iPad. So it's like, that's why I keep the phone away from this. I'm like, all right, no one hears my like stomach growling or anything during the show.
Just growling at the
Mhm.
crowd. It's a bit of a conflicting. You got a bit of light out there now. We're an hour forward, and that it's
Oh
yeah.
yeah, we did.
The light, the sky's light, and so are the lights internals.
Yeah, the daylight's changed a bunch for me. Trying to.
Yeah, I like the dark.
Try to take advantage.
Is it? Apparently, I'm hearing inside Humanides' head. the posh voice. Yeah, no, it's the that is looking good.
It is. It was a cool setup. It's some of those that, and so like the other bummer is, you know, people. I've been around now for the year or whatever, and people have been following and stuff, and so you can see they. I'll tell them about the upshots or the angles and the white background. So more and more are starting to do that, and then it makes it even harder and harder for me to choose. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, now they all know what I like, so they're doing it, and it makes it even worse. How do I pick?
It's also helping, with their like photography setups and everything.
I want to do a little talk about that just for like paintovers and just my perspective on it. You know what I mean? What I think like adds to it and stuff like that. And that's going to be one of the videos because especially people who like commission me. I always if they commission me, I kind of walk them through like, hey, let me see some photos and then we'll figure out and go from there. But just for that, so then people can I gotta figure out what cuff this was. It got edited out. Oh wait, here we go. Oh, just white. Okay, that works. Ink there. Oops. Do you play D&D tonight, Lee?
Yeah. Well, we're not playing D&D at the moment because the guy who was running D&D, he because as I said to you before, he works in the computer games industry, and
Yeah.
so he's
Oh,
had hard time with projects.
burn you.
So he hasn't run for 2 weeks prior to last week, and so one of the other guys has stepped in with a game called Monster of the Week,
Okay.
which last week we were setting up, creating characters. So I'm still trying to figure out what I'm actually doing. Although the only way I can describe it really is it's like a cross between like Hellboy, Supernatural, and well, actually, probably just Hellboy and Supernatural, because you can be like different like archetypes. So like you could be like the chosen one. You could
Okay.
be like a mage wizard type person. I can't remember what I'm playing. It's
Okay.
monstrous thing that I chose. Basically, I'm like half human, half in my case, half lion. I'm basically Vincent from Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah.
So and what someone else is playing like from what I understand, I think he's like some sort of like demon entity, like
Okay.
the herald of the apocalypse
So
type
it
thing.
seems like it's a pretty like you can go kind of out there with this game on what you want to be.
Yeah, pretty much. And we're meant to be all working together, but you had to work out like there were some like choices for background prompts sort of thing as connections to the other players. So my friend John, who's playing a chosen one type character, he put that his connection to me was that he wanted to learn something from me, like wanted me as a mentor to his character.
Okay.
For him, I put down that he saved my life, so that sort of ties in with his, because if he's been told in his dreams to go find this lion dude, and you see me getting attacked by a hunter, and he goes, well, I need to speak to him, so he comes in, saves me from this hunter hunting me.
Yeah.
So that tied in there. And then he connected with one of the other guys who said like I put down that he was the hunter who was hunting me, because what I chose just tied in perfectly.
Yeah.
And the other guy I just put as like we're sort of somehow related somewhere down the line somehow. But it was quite an interesting. It's not like one of those mainstream games, because my friend
No.
Ben, he does a lot of. He actually writes a lot of sort of games stuff. He's not a like proper games developer, but
Yeah, but it's still.
he's doing game developing. So he done that, and I'm not sure if it's his game, but it's one of his games he found, and he thought it'll be quite interesting for us guys to
Give
get
it a
in.
go.
So yeah, so we had a little skirmish after we'd done our character creation, which was us lot bouldering into a room full of vampires and just kicked out. I ended up harpooning a vampire just as he turned into a bat. I threw my sword and pinned it to the wall. So that's a win.
Yeah, I haven't played. I gotta play something one of these days. I miss it. Because that's all the stuff that, and I guess like that's how I got into kind of even storytelling or drawing comics and all that, is because I played D&D was like one of my first. What I mean? I was like, I don't even know how old, but young, like 7, 8, somewhere in there or something, finding it, and just like it sparks all that creativity. And I was like, I want to, you're just like kind of world building in your head the whole time. And just those drawings, you see all the cool old pictures of like just, stuff that didn't exist.
Yeah, it's allowing your imagination to go wild.
Yeah.
because obviously with all like fairy tales and stuff like that, it's just having something that you can sort of relate to a little bit. Like I didn't actually get into role play until my late teens.
Okay.
And I got into live role play first, just by accident of meeting somebody once who eventually became friends, even went on holiday with them with a couple of other mates and stuff.
Gotcha.
And he just invited me to go to do some LARPing over a local forest. And yeah, I got into LARPing first, and then next minute I was playing White Wolf Vampire.
Yeah.
Again through LARP and then onto tabletop. So I went the sort of reverso way into role play. But yeah, my first tabletop was Vampire the Masquerade.
Okay. Yeah, that was a good one. I like that.
Vampires were all cool at the time, and
Yeah.
everyone likes vampires, sort of thing, or cool.
Yeah, they were. That was the. I remember they. Oh, did I have it on tape still? I might literally have it on tape. Way back in the day, I don't know what it was, but they had a TV show that was released regularly on TV for the White Wolf vampire thing. I think you can find it all on YouTube. What did you say?
It was called Kindred the Embraced.
Yeah, okay, yep, that was. So you do know it. Yeah.
Oh, I totally know that. And because the guy who played the main character, the Von True character, was an actor called Mark Frankel, I believe. And unfortunately, after the first season, he died in a motorbike accident.
Oh, wow.
And it was just, but it just added to the thing that they probably just thought, well, we didn't pull in the numbers we hoped.
Yeah.
It was it was actually pretty cool. We had Jeff Cobo or something. He played the Nosferatu character in that, but he was more famous for playing Booger the kangaroo in Tank Girl.
Okay, yeah. And that was, and when I think about it, at that time, that was those shows weren't as popular then as they are now.
Yeah,
Siri made it. I think it is Siri. Excited to see my Marine. Thank you. Glad. I'll try to do something cool with it.
Yeah, no, she's awesome, Carrie. She was at my she actually helped me and my team at a Warhammer event for the Legio Walks Titan event last February. Because after the event on the Saturday night, they do like a little quiz for the participants.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I forget. You actually know people. Like, I don't know one.
Well, I can't say I know her. I know a friend.
I mean, you've come across some,
I spoke to her once, and she helped us in a quiz.
Yeah.
But no, she's a purple monkey, which is Twitter and Instagram. She has her own channel as well, I believe. So totally worth checking out because she's a very good painter and very helpful.
This thing is cool. I like good color choices. I don't know if I have the blue background. We'll see. I'm gonna throw some other light on it because I'm like, blue on blue usually isn't the thing, but it might work in this. So gotta try.
Well, say they're not common to have sort of camouflage, unless they're like the Raptors who love a bit of camouflage, but it still stands out against that.
Yeah, I'll dark it. I'm going to try a few things on it because I might put like like a slight orange or yellowish light onto him after a tint layer. So I'm just trying to see what's going on. See what triggers something in my mind.
I'm sure something will come about it because you this is the third one for the evening, and it's you've got the pressure on you now.
Yeah, I know, and good thing I'm not fatigued yet, so I'm like, all right, I'm feeling good. That's why I know, like, hey, kind of Snip, you did the majority of the work on these, and then like if I have to, I'll go back like tonight and I just kind of like lay in bed, flick on a show, and then I finish a few things up so I can get it ready.
She's a good person to know.
This Marine, what did she say? This Marine is my live stream army, the Hobby Room Marines. Oh, okay. So you gotta you paint them on live stream.
Yeah, she actually also done a 24-hour paint-a-thon recently as well. So
God.
like miniature apothecary did as well. I think it was something like 13,000 pounds. I think she raised.
Wow.
I remember
That's
seeing
cool.
a lot of money being raised by her paint-a-thon.
Yeah, someone painting. That's a good. Yeah, we can turn that into helping people. Why not?
Exactly. You know, it was always
but
great.
that's a long stream.
It's like a miniature apothecary.
Like I'm like I'll get 3 in and be like, all right, man, I am exhausted. I'm like that long. Holy cow.
I'm sure they sort of planned it out so they could have breaks.
Well, yeah, but still, I mean, even close, it's like wow.
Yeah, just under 13K was raised, so that was
Wow.
excellent effort, and obviously for worthy causes. And it's good that obviously when the hobby sort of can help out and pay back others. But yeah, there's because obviously with these sort of Primaris, I actually really do love the Primaris. I know they get a lot of shade thrown at them, but I love the size of them. Their sort of the look of them as well, because I always like the Mark IV armor in the first generation Marines, and they've got like that Mark IV-esque helmet, but they're just bigger.
Well, they're bigger, and I noticed since they slightly changed a little bit, they got more dynamic, and I dig that too.
Yeah, as I say, it's I always thought that with the Primaris, it was like because Heresy was doing quite well at the time.
Yeah.
People building these great big armies and all that sort of thing. That it was like Games Workshop wanted their own sort of game system. So they had the 40K game system, you had the Heresy game system, and then you had like AOS and Lord of the Rings sort of thing. And I just thought like, they might be just trying to segment it and have, if you want 40K,
well, it kind of, in my mind, it kind of makes sense. It's like, okay, they're trying to prepare for 10 years from now. You know what I mean? Like they're trying to do stuff, and like they might be like not re-release, but how like they always like revisit things down the line and then tweak it. So you might have kind of like almost like classic 40K, like the 30K is now kind of deal.
I was captivated by its eyes just then. That's
yeah. It's got some cool ones.
The edge
What's the shoulder pad? I'm trying to figure. I know it's a symbol, and if you're watching Siri, what is
the hobby room? It's either had it printed up or you can get them like made.
I love it now. I gotta get AE ones done. I'm gonna have AE on everything. I don't even know why. It's like the dumbest thing about like, okay, they're gonna have banners with it, and they're gonna be like, I don't even know what all about it.
Yeah, I think this is our second Primaris, because the first one was Ben Bailey's one that I was involved with anyway.
Yeah. I know.
With with that what we thought was just like a pile of dead bodies.
Yeah, and then I was like, oh, I thought it was a miniature, and it was literally like he's just having fun and piled bodies up. And then what was funny is I realized he's like standing on his own Marines. It's just like I just kept imagining, I'm like, I got this. Yeah, just pile them all up there. I'll fix these guys. It's like I just need to roll a few sixes and they'll be safe. They'll be good.
King of the Hill. There you go.
It's like standing on his own. Like, I got this.
Yeah, Kerry's just saying it's her logo. So it's a hobby room.
Okay, see, so it's not. I can put AE on mine then.
There you go. Well, yeah, it's like get decals made and have your own color scheme.
I was laughing because I was looking into getting decals and stuff made. I'm like, I haven't painted a mini in over 30 years or whatever, and I'm looking at decals, getting custom decals made. I'm like, you're way putting the cart in front of the horse with that one, buddy. Like,
Yeah, and Ben Bailey is Kerry's partner. If for those that wasn't aware, I was aware because he was there at the Legio Walks thing, and yes, so I was actually the first time no, it was the first time I met Ben. Not that there was much interaction, but it was obviously your help was invaluable that night, Kerry. You helped us get some more points that we had no idea of gaining those ones from the questions that you helped us with. So thank you again. Hey, Jinx is here as well. Hey, Jinx.
Hey, Jinx, thanks for making it.
It sounds like you're chipping out of granite.
It does. I shipped pens. There was a pen tip, so they have like aftermarket pen tips, and I ordered them, and I was like, well, maybe I'll do a mini product review because one of the things they said is they were quieter when you do it, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to order it to see if they actually stop me from like being a woodpecker over here.
Yes, Kerry, you did. You won it. You definitely boosted us up in the score charts there because there was some questions we had no idea. I think it was like the Aeronautica ones. We were all Titan heads on that table, and like when you've got Jonathan and that on the next table, like, well, hold on a second, Jonathan and Ruth, what's it? You're all part of the same business. You know all this stuff. But yeah, your help and Ben's help was invaluable. You saved the day.
Thing. I don't have any experience with aeronautical. What's the airplane one? I don't.
Aeronautica Imperialis.
Yeah.
It's I bought one of the sets, the one with the Tau in there.
Okay.
Purely for the Tau Barracudas and Tiger Sharks because I absolutely love them as fighters. I just love the shape of the Barracuda and Tiger Sharks. I haven't even bothered painting up the Valkyries or anything. I just painted the Tau stuff, and that's it. I'm not going to play the game. I just wanted
them. Works for me.
Yeah, exactly. You just buy the products because I wanted the products. But obviously, my Titans are my love and my everything.
Because they are. I mean, it's like one of the most iconic things from the game.
Titans, yeah. So as I was saying to you earlier, this weekend is going to get very messy. Just the amount of stuff because, as you're aware, I have one or two Titans.
Yeah, just a couple.
That's a couple. With what I'll be buying with all my Christmas money and vouchers. Yes, Jinx. I like Titans. I shall be creeping up to having 100 Titans.
Are you serious?
Absolutely.
Wow.
I've got a problem. I know I've got a problem, but I
That's
love
a lot, Lee.
Look, I could be lying in a ditch on meth.
Yeah, at least it's not like heroin or something. So go for it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not hurting anyone much. I'm trying to sort my camera out because I keep on moving myself and I keep on throwing myself out. So it's like half of me. And I know you want the full.
I'm going to have to. I'll adjust it for next time too. I think I can make it a little bigger or smaller or something.
Oh, you don't want it bigger? Oh my god, my ego. Yes, I am willing to admit it. I know I have a Titan problem. I was actually speaking with Andy Hoare, chatting with him the other day, and he's just like, "Oh my god, dude, you make these things. You want people to buy them. I'm buying them. Yeah. I'm keeping everybody in employment with my addiction."
Well, right. At least when all this clears up, you'll get some good play time in and stuff, and
eventually.
Yeah, exactly. And however many years it takes.
Well, as I said, I can host my own tournament. Kerry's got a dip
no
out
doubt.
for her stream tonight. But she'll keep this muted and next to me so she can see the progress.
Enjoy your streams. Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah. So she'll have us in the corner, but obviously she's got to service her crowd and following with her paintings. But yeah, it's one of the nicer streams out there, sort of thing. You know, you can't really go wrong. It's friendly, much like our little stream here.
Yeah.
Friendly, laid back, relaxed, chilled. It's just a lot more.
I catch
physical
some once in a while. I try to miniature apothecary. I swing by, his, and there's a couple that I go and I try to when I see one in that, I try to swing by and get it into kind of like my work schedule. Like when I'm working, put one up and check out what everyone's doing and stuff like that.
Crimson's on his way to a full 1,000-man strong chapter. That's impressive. I've got a full company with one of my armies, but a chapter is, if you're going to go for it, as I always say, you go big or go home. I don't do small armies. I'm going to try. There you go. Let's see also if. There you go. A bit more light because I was going, I'm incredibly shadowy and mysterious.
Shadowy and mysterious.
Shadowy and mysterious. That's my middle name.
Almost done. What are we going to do right there?
And a little bit of exhaust gases.
Yeah, I get addicted to the little seams and stuff. I always want to put stuff, I don't know. That's just like the world to me is always like the sparks and everything. And gosh, I saw some more. There was an Adrian Smith picture on Twitter. Someone posted. I mean, I loved his work forever, but I just hadn't seen that one, and it was such a great. It was like an Inquisitor charging across a bridge, shooting everybody with all. And I was like, wow, that was just intense.
Yeah, Agent Smith, Wayne England, all their stuff.
Yeah,
really characterful, and it helped lure you in with sort of your imagination.
For sure. I got the White Dwarf kind of next to me where they've just announced Adrian's coming to the studio. I was like, we've seen his work, and now he's got hired. And I was like, wow.
Jinx, lol, I don't have a fully painted army because I'm too easily distracted. Human ID, I will now call you SAM.
Yeah, I don't have a full painted army either.
Mm.
All right, what do we do?
Why SAM?
Perspective, right?
I really feel there should be sort of like a little gecko at the bottom there.
I know, some of these, I really want to go into and put more stuff in, and make it more of a painting. But I'm like, you got to keep it down. I can't spend days on them, because part of me wants to. It's like, oh, if I could go and paint this in, and especially a lot of times in backgrounds, I'm like, okay, I could do this, and then have the mountains and just all kinds of different stuff. But
well, that would be really sort of quite amazing if you'd done sort of like an alpine scene with the Space Marine running down the hills like Heidi, or like Julie Andrews, the hills are alive with the sound of music. that would be a sight to see.
What do we got here? Now we're gonna. And then it's at least the hour's back, so at least 1 o'clock is a good start time for me. So that kind of all the time changes are done, so that'll be for another however many months.
Yeah.
But
Well, what you were saying earlier on about like doing streams on other days and stuff like that,
Yeah.
because obviously with my work's going to be going back to normal hours next week, so we'd probably for the Wednesday night we'd have to do like a 7 o'clock sort of start
What
because
is another hour, maybe an hour and a half? Which one helps you more? I don't want to like you rush.
well, yeah, because
You know what I mean?
I think if we're going back to our normal closing times where I work, it's 5:30, so it will take me about an hour to get home, and then obviously
So we
gives
might
me.
want like so we might even want what like 2 hours 2 hours from now, like, or 2 hours start at, is it too late to do 8 for you? I think it would be
Yeah,
8.
no, I would be. No, I say what I would do. I would literally feed myself, gorge myself on food, so I wouldn't be eating on stream, and then literally just head straight here, get in, get changed, and get online, and then bang. Obviously go from 7 and
Yeah,
until so it'd be like an hour and a half,
yeah,
or um, we so even if we change to like on a Saturday,
okay,
I can start because I don't really have much on the Saturday. So
gotcha.
obviously I finish work a little bit earlier.
Yeah,
So even if we started sort of 7, half 7, or whatever
yeah.
on a Saturday, um, or even 8 on a Saturday, whatever's convenient for you, because obviously you've got your American market to conquer.
Yeah, no, and
Uh,
so yeah, however that kind of works. Well, I'm whatever, you know what I mean. If we got, because I don't want you rushed, you know what I mean, or like feeling like, oh yeah, and then it makes for a huge long day and all that kind of stuff. So whatever.
Scott, I've said before, I operate by the seat of my pants. This is me, just
Good. Well, good, because apparently I operate on the seat of mine with this whole thing too.
exactly. It just works. Sometimes you have those strategic planners. Other times you have those that just react to the situation.
Go.
And I react. There's nothing offensive here. This is pure reactionary content.
Well, that's what
And
I mean. That's one of the things when I started all this. I'm like, I want to, I don't want to overthink it at first. I just want to do it. Just get in the habit of doing it, and then as you're doing it, kind of refine and make it better.
yeah, this is Homer J. Simpson territory here.
Yeah.
Just don't think, just do.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, this is kind of cool. I like this one.
Well, Crimson, he's down for a post-stream chat
Oh yeah,
over on
and if
Discord.
anyone's happens to be watching, and if you, especially on Twitter or I think like Instagram or whatever, send me a DM if you want to. I have a small little Discord, and it's small, but we kind of chat in there and talk about like AE plans and whatever. So if you ever want a Discord invite, just hit me up and I will send one out.
I'll take one. Joseph Cullen, teal and orange, the greatest combos. I have to say, I'm more of a blue and orange myself.
Yeah, I like teal. I do. The teal and orange is kind of.
I love teal. I love orange, but blue and orange is my. I don't have one favorite color. It's blue and orange together. That's all. But then I do like purple as well.
Orange.
The solo color's purple.
I love purple. It's just it seems so hard. I guess it doesn't go. So I don't know what the deal is. It's like I love the color, and I'm like almost surprised I don't use it in more stuff. But it's just I don't think it lends itself as well as some of the other colors. It seems like it sounds like orange I use a lot, but I get why I use orange because it's all the heat of battle and all that. But
Yeah.
The teal really, I noticed it goes through with a lot of different stuff in here, but I don't get purple that much. I might have to try some more purple in there.
Get a little purple. It's more of a night palette, isn't it? Really, purples.
Yeah, and it's like, and then I don't know if it's like it not competes with red, but I don't know. I'm gonna try it more. Like because I intentionally do it. I'm like, I want to do more. Like, if I'm not using something, I want to use it more. You know what I mean? If it's like, okay, why aren't you? There's alien planets with purple skies. You're in 40K land.
Yeah, exactly. And then my largest marine army is purple, being the Emperor's Children.
Mm-hmm.
So it's purple is the way. But yeah, purple is amazing. Crimson.
Purple is amazing.
Yeah. No, it is. I always liked it because what sort of added to it? Obviously, you can get cool purples, you can get some warm purples, or like lilacs and mauves.
Yeah, well, yeah, you can go in the blues and the reds and you know what I mean. You can cool it down, you can heat it up, so it is a versatile color.
Yeah, and I say purple, perfect from a coffee cup. But the what really sort of sold it to me was Gladiator, because the Praetorians that guarded the Emperor, the elite guard, and they wore purple because purple was like the royal color.
It's the majestic royal color. Yeah.
So it's just like,
it's probably because back in the day, purple was a hard dye to make, and I guarantee you that's probably why it was the royal color.
Well, that was the thing. That's why originally pink was a color for boys.
Mm-hmm. That was bad. Yeah, that totally was a color.
It was only I think the turn of the 19th century.
Yeah,
it changed around, sort of thing. That pink was given to girls and boys got blue, sort of thing. Yeah. So when they say, pinks, blues represent, it doesn't. Colors are colors. So if you like a color, wear it.
Well, for sure. Here, get a little smoke coming out of there.
Yes.
Almost. We will call it here shortly. Do a little review over some of these.
Just check everything over.
Tap away for a little bit, and I'm going to go back and I'll end up
your mallet and chisel.
You're sculpting away. This out I do wish they could get a quieter version of this. I need a quieter iPad.
You're going to get somebody knocking on your window. You're like, stop that racket.
Stop it. Yeah, I'll end up doing a few things on this one. These were cool. I was glad someone submitted malifaux. I've done one before, but War Machine. I like some of the War Machines, and I don't know what kind of goes on with the game or whatever. It seemed to I don't know, just I don't see it as much around. It seemed like
it sort of dropped off.
Yeah, and they used to have the cool warjacks and stuff, but I just don't see them. I don't know if they changed the game or what.
Yeah, I looked at War Machine because it had robots, and I think
I played it.
It's sort of heavy, and it's just sort of it was like a steroided up bulldog, big little legs. So it sort of put me up a bit.
I played a couple games of it, and I like how the game played out. It was kind of cool.
Hey, the teeny dragon. Hello, dragon.
I like dragons. Hey,
dragon. The best purple dye was made entire from mollusks and was very labor intensive to make and very expensive. So
that's we learned something.
History.
From mollusks, see? Okay, that's how we got it. Thank you.
It was so dark it was almost black. Yeah, it's sort of like darker than like blackish aubergine.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just tip something to the certain angle, the light comes off it, and you can actually see.
You can see. Yeah, I do this stream long enough. I'm gonna be all extra educated. I keep learning all these things every time. I'm like, see, now I know.
When a pub quiz comes up, as we call it,
got this.
Bang! You're gonna get a basket of food.
Got it. We know where purple came from.
because that's what we compete for over here. Normally, in one of the pubs, it's basically a like hamper of meat.
Yeah. Oh, do they for this? Oh,
Oh
that's
yeah,
cool.
yeah. So like some places you used to get like like you get like some money in a jar sort
Yeah,
of.
yeah.
You pay to enter and you do that, but there have been ones where you get like a huge hamper, like straight from the butchers,
I
of
would take.
a variety of meat just sitting there, and just
Yeah.
go, that's a proper quiz.
Proper quiz prize.
Yeah, that's a proper win, that is. Oh, it hurts to type. Oh, I'm sorry. It's not nice.
Ew.
Sad.
Oh, there would be a little bit of it.
But thank you for educating us and enlightening us with that.
Yes, I appreciate that.
I knew it was something to do with sort of squitting down sea creatures, because actually it reminded me from Game of Thrones, because I remember there was one of the Esteros countries, or city states,
Yeah.
where they earn their money from the dyes, where they going from sea creatures and mollusks and stuff. So obviously George takes from history and incorporates it.
We got a lot of stuff. Well, any. So, do we plan on. Me and you will talk. We'll come up with a plan for next week. How we
Yeah.
want to tackle it. If we want, what day or whatever. So I'll pre-plan it so at least I can kind of figure that out. Wait.
Well, as I say, Wednesdays are still doable, but as I say, I'd have to do like 7 till 8:30 for.
Yeah, we can. I mean, yeah, because if we have to do it at first, then I can do a short one because I know I got a few things coming up. So, yeah, me and you will talk. We'll kind of figure it out. But in general, I still want something we kind of do weekly. If we got to shift some days here and there, it's no big deal. You know what I mean? Whatever we got to do.
Yeah.
So that was. We had a nice active chat, so appreciate everyone stopping by. That was a lot of fun. I got 3 done. I'll post them later when I do the last little touch ups on them, or I let them sit, and then I'm like, after a few hours when I come look at them, I'll be like, oh, that needs to be brighter, or that needs to be darker, or whatever. It needs more glitter, needs more sparkle,
needs a sparkle.
needs a little more sparkle.
Everybody needs a bit of sparkle in their life.
Yeah, you need a little spark. That thing is so cool. So
yeah, that's got sparkle.
Yeah, I'm gonna mess with this one, and I think that's good. Anything you want to say in closing?
No, it's been a nice, tiny little stream. Obviously, there's not been that much June conversation this week.
Yeah.
I was actually going to talk about Foundation instead, just to throw people off. Huh?
A Foundation?
Foundation? Oh, Foundation. Isaac Asimov. Seminal work.
I saw the commercials. I don't know when that's supposed to be out.
Yes. Well, that's coming out. Well, next couple of months, I think.
Okay.
I'm not 100% on that, but I recently listened to the audio books, or say recently, before Christmas. But yeah, so obviously they've got that coming out onto TV with Jared Harris. So it's going to be good because he's an awesome actor.
Okay.
But the whole thing about Foundation, obviously, in the stories, but we will save that for another time.
All right. It sounds like a good plan. One last thing, if anyone's still watching, hit that like button. Appreciate it. That'll help. And have a great day when I end this. I should be able to end this. I got to make sure I'm on a new computer. So I'm clicking. I'm like, do not be streaming your whole